Thank you for joining me for our Friday 30-minute guided meditation. Before we begin, I'll just go over a little bit of what meditation is or is not for those of you who might be new or new-ish. So a great definition that I recently heard of meditation is compassionate mind control. So it's the idea of we're being nice towards ourselves, we're being compassionate towards ourselves, and we're trying to kind of control the avenues that our mind is traveling down. So for example, if I tell you to focus on your breath, and then at some point you realize that you've stopped focusing on your breath and you're thinking about what's for dinner, you compassionately return to the present moment, to your breath, to controlling the mind through your breath, but it's always compassionately. Sometimes I'll talk to people who say oh, I'm really bad at meditating, and there's no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There are simply people who meditate or who are meditating and people who do not meditate or are not meditating. So there's no value assigned. It's just some time to be compassionate towards yourself, to kind of direct your thoughts. Okay, so I will light a candle as a symbolic gesture that we're entering into a more intentional space. So we're being intentional with how we breathe, how we move. And I always have my Om Gnome here with me, this little guy. And sometimes again, I think we need to look like this. We think we need to look like this guy when we meditate, but you can be exactly as you are. If you find that you're angry when you're meditating, that's fine. If you find that you're happy when you're meditating, that's fine. If you find you don't feel anything, that's fine too. Again, there's no value assigned. Our greatest teacher is the present moment. Okay. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Today is a special day. It is Rosh Hashanah in the Jewish tradition, which is New Year's. I've always thought that New Year's makes a lot more sense in September than it does in December, January. So, we're going through seasonal transition right now. And as seasons transition, in some traditions as years transition, I just invite this space today to be a time to kind of reflect on the last year, to reflect on seasonal changes, and then to reflect on, what's filling you up, what's keeping you going, what's fortifying your roots, and then what needs to lie fallow or what you need to let go of. So again, sometimes we might think of a calendar year, right, as January through December, but for the purpose of this meditation, regardless of your religious background, I encourage you to think of this as a year, like this September season through last as being 1 year. So as you're ready, you can close your eyes, find yourself in a comfortable seated position. And for the purpose of this meditation, if you would like to lie down, you are welcome to. If closing your eyes is distracting you, you can keep your eyes open, but practice the art of looking without seeing, so a soft, fuzzy gaze in front of you rather than focusing on, objects in front of you. So we're coming into this more intentional space where we focus on our breath, where we take some time to just sit with ourselves in the present moment. Notice any lingering impressions from the day, any thoughts playing out across your mind of something that already happened today or something yet to come, or maybe something theoretical. And, all of those high brain functions have, serve a real purpose in our lives as highly thoughtful, sentient creatures. But for the purpose of meditation, we're just going to tune that out a little bit and start to drop into a more relaxed state of consciousness, not thinking about, the past or the future or some unknowns, but just kind of sitting here with our breath. Notice how you're breathing. Let it be relaxed. As you inhale, feel your chest rise. And as you exhale, feel your chest fall. Breathe in and breathe out. Breath is such a wonderful thing to focus on in meditation. It's automatic, right? Even when we're not concentrating on breathing, our bodies do it naturally. So it's not that we're trying to force the breath here, we're just bearing witness, like an impartial observer, to the way that your ribs expand, the way the skin across your chest stretches a little, and then the way that your stomach softens and the shoulders relax down as you breathe in and out. So too with your meditation, this compassionate mind control. Observe your thoughts almost like you would observe a dear friend. So lovingly, caringly, but at the same time, non-attached, right? It's not quite yours. Just observing your thoughts as they pass. As you breathe in and out through your nose. Again, if your mind starts to wander, it's just a practice. It's not good or bad. You're just compassionately returning yourself to the truth of the present moment. So many people don't even realize when their mind wanders, so I think it's just a victory just to notice. Just returning your mind towards your breath, in and out through your nose. Draw your attention to your feet, maybe wiggle your toes, and start to relax your big toes. Relax your middle toes, pinky toes, third toes, fourth toes. Relax the tops of your feet, arches of your feet, heels and ankles. Soften through your shins and your calf muscles. Relax the backs of your knees and your kneecaps. Relax your hamstrings and quadriceps. Outer thighs, inner thighs. Relax the space between your thighs. Notice any tension you're carrying in your lower body. Let your lower body be heavy. Soften through your hips, your glutes, pelvis, lower abdomen. Let your belly button be heavy like lead. Relax through the lower spine, middle spine, upper spine. Soften through your rib cage, pectorals, chest, and collarbones. Relax your armpits. Relax shoulder blades, scapula, tops of the shoulders. Relax upper arms. Notice any tension that you're carrying in the biceps or triceps. Let your arms be heavy. Relax the elbow bones and inner elbows, forearms and wrists. Relax your pinky fingers. Relax your fourth fingers. Relax your middle fingers, index fingers, and thumbs. Relax the tops of your hands and let your palms be heavy. Notice any tension in the upper body or lower body and just let it go. Breathe. Relax through your throat and neck spine, nape of your neck, backs of the ears. Let your earlobes be heavy. Relax inner ears and outer ears. Notice any tension you're carrying in your jaw. Soften your jaw. Relax your chin, bottom lip and upper lip, tongue and back of the tongue. Relax the roof of your mouth, your gums, and each and every tooth. Soften the space between your upper lip and nose. Relax left nostril, right nostril, Relax right nostril, left nostril, bridge of the nose and cheeks. Soften through your temples and the space between your eyebrows. Relax your eyebrows. Let your eyes get heavy in their sockets. Relax your eyelids and each and every eyelash. Notice any tension you're carrying in your forehead. See if you can relax your forehead. Soften through your hairline, scalp, each and every hair follicle. Let your whole body relax. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Just noticing your breath, not controlling it. Compassionately noticing where your mind is taking you. Changing seasons, especially from summer to fall to autumn, is rich with a lot of beautiful metaphors. One of them that I think of often are trees, and how this time of year leaves start to fall. And from an outside perspective, that can look like a certain death. But in fact, rather than leaves falling being, the end, it's part of a cycle of life, right? So the leaves fall, decompose, and become nutrients, which then feed the trees for next year. And in fact, younger trees actually grow stronger in the fall and winter as their roots get a little bit deeper. As you breathe slowly through your nose, imagine that you are a tree. Feel what parts of your body are touching the ground. Imagine yourself growing roots, going deep into the earth. Allow yourself to feel anchored in the present moment, tethered in time and space, rooted exactly where you are, as exactly who you are in this moment. Your greatest teacher is the present moment. Start to think back through the last year. Autumn this time last year. Thinking to the winter season, might feel so long ago, it does for me. Just reflecting without attaching to what comes up. So if a memory comes up, just reflecting on it without assigning good or bad, just noticing. And from last autumn into winter, and then into this season of spring. Spring into summer. And summer into this transition period that we're in now, symbolic of, maybe one day you think it's going to be cold and so you put on too many layers and then you're hot outside, right? It's this time of uncertainty. Even though we know that the seasons will change, they do every year, there's still some unknowns. Maybe some relief that it's not so hot out. Maybe some fear of the winter months. Just letting all of that go and just being a compassionate but passive observer. Start to think to your own associations with the summer season. Perhaps abundance, growth, sunshine, long days, short nights, whatever comes to your mind. Next, reflect on your associations with fall. Perhaps crisp air and crisper leaves beneath your feet. Pumpkins, pumpkin spice lattes. Maybe rich colors of orange and brown and green. Just noticing what comes to mind. Notice how you're breathing. And let your breath be slow, in and out through your nose. Continue to imagine that you're this tree with the last year in mind, picturing how you might have grown, how your roots might have gotten a little deeper, or maybe just shifted. Maybe noticing new branches in your life, or branches that were clipped or changed. As you reflect on the last year, start to reflect on the things that fortified you, that helped you feel deeply rooted, held, at peace. And then start to reflect on the parts of the last year that maybe feel heavy, maybe that once served you, but now just feel burdensome. And as you breathe, I invite you to start to let go. In your mind's eye, imagine that you, as the tree, slowly shed your leaves. Each leaf perhaps being something that doesn't feel quite right anymore, that feels a little heavy, that no longer serves you. Again, from an outside perspective, it can seem like leaves falling are a sign of death, but in fact, trees get lighter by letting go of their leaves. It actually helps them to survive the winter. So I invite you to picture this idea of falling leaves, letting yourself shed a new layer. And as you watch the leaves fall, perhaps repeating to yourself, I choose to let go. If your mind starts to wander, just compassionately returning yourself to this practice of letting go. At once rooting down and getting a little lighter. Sometimes when we're in the process of watching leaves in our life fall, it's easy to feel shame or guilt or like, I can't believe I ever clung to that. But in fact, all of these things serve a purpose. So again, with leaves, when they fall to the ground, they decompose and then they become nutrients for something yet to come. So even as you're letting these heavy things fall off of you in the changing season, just remember that they have their purpose, their time and their place, in ways that maybe you can't even quite conceive of yet. Just choosing to let go and choosing to trust that process, that cycle. Changing seasons remind us that nothing is permanent, right? And we know this, and yet we resist it. So just allow the leaves to fall. Allow your roots to get a little deeper. Breathing in and breathing out. Just passively noticing your breath and the way your whole body slowly, gently moves as you breathe. Looking forward to the seasons and year ahead, particularly going from autumn into winter. It can be easy when you pass by a tree in winter to think that not much is going on or that the tree isn't doing much. But in fact, the season of winter, of hibernation, of rest is just as important as that summer season of growth or abundance or that spring season of, things popping out of the earth. There's no one part of the season of the tree that's more important than the other, even if from our human perception, that's not the case. I invite you to remember that in your own life as well. Looking forward towards maybe darker months where we are invited into a more restful, slow state. And just giving yourself grace that that's okay. So looking forward to the seasons and the year to come. As the leaves of summer fall down, what new seeds do you want to plant? Where do you see your roots going deeper or shifting direction? What branches do you want to see grow longer? And what parts of the branch or the tree might need to be pruned? Envision your tree of life over the next year, going from autumn as leaves fall, into winter as roots deepen below the surface. into spring as little buds start to blossom. Into summer with full foliage. Back to autumn as leaves fall. Into winter as roots deepen. Into spring as buds blossom. Into summer with full foliage. Back to autumn, to winter, to spring, to summer. Reminding yourself that nothing is permanent and that every season has its place, one not more important than the other. Holding all of these visions for cycles of rebirth and renewal to come, all the cycles that have already passed, holding all of that in your heart. And then when you're ready, let it go. Allow your mind to go empty. Not thinking of past cycles or future cycles, just being exactly where you are. This unique space and time in between seasons. The new year of an ancient tradition, sitting in your unique body, in your unique space and time, in this breath, and the truth of this breath, the slow inhale through the nose, and an even slower exhale through the nose. And as thoughts start to bubble up or sensations arise, just letting them go. Just returning to this moment, to this breath, and this unique space and time, in this body. Singular moment, singular breath that will never be repeated and can be savored and enjoyed as something in and of itself. Slow inhale, even slower exhale, letting go, sinking in, growing lighter. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice any lingering heaviness in your chest or shoulders. And soften and let go, loosening just a little bit more through the exhale breath. Maybe unclenching the fists, softening through the limbs, the torso and head. Any lingering heaviness, just letting it go, shedding it like leaves. Slow inhale, even slower exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. You're welcome to stay in this meditative space for as long as you'd like. On the count of 3, if you would like, you're welcome to open your eyes and I will blow out our candle as a symbolic gesture that our meditation is over, but you are welcome to stay as you are for as long as you'd like. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Even slower exhale through your nose for 3, 2, 1. And if it suits you, you're welcome to open your eyes. Shana Tova. I hope you all have a sweet new year. I will blow out this candle as a symbolic gesture that our official meditation is done. I'm just allowing the smoke to clear the space. Thank you all for joining. It's wonderful to be here with all of you.